Good evening, fellow vapors. This is Cass, and today I'm back at you with another vape review. Today's going to be a little bit different. We're going to be looking at what is essentially a combination of a liquid and hardware and a device. Today, we're going to be looking at these little bad boys. These are the Stig pods. Now, I have one of each of the 4 flavors. I'm going to throw these up on the screen right now so you can see the flavors, you can see the devices in their packaging and all sorts of things like that. But today we're going to be looking at these. Now, to explain what these are quite quickly, these are single-use, non-refillable, non-rechargeable pod devices. They're actually made by VGOD. If you know VGOD, you know that they are quite big in the vaping scene, but they have made the Stig pod. Now, we'll get into the conflicts of the environmental impact versus the convenience, but we're going to look at the devices completely separate to all of the ethical nature of all of that, and let's see how they get on. So there's 4 flavors in this range, and the first flavor that we're going to be looking at is called Cubano. Now, you'll be able to see it on your screens right now, and it's essentially a sort of a dark caramelly tobacco flavor as far as I'm aware. So this is the Cubano, and it's interesting to see that they've released these now. These are supposedly huge over in the States. They haven't really come over into the UK in any kind of major capacity. You do see them around a little bit. I've got my hands on some, so let's have a try of them. Now, normally this is where I would say what device I'm using. However, today they are the device. So the first flavor we're going to be looking at is the Cubano. This is it. Let's have a puff. Really nice flavour. It's a really nice sort of quite a dark, edgy tobacco flavour. It's got quite a woody taste to it. Essentially, there's not really a huge amount there. I mean, I might be getting sort of hints of vanilla, hints of this sort of caramel coming through, but it's a really nice, super smooth tobacco. Now, these are 20 milligrams. In the States, you can get them up to 60 milligrams, and I think I might try and get my hands on one just to sort of give you a video on what 60 milligrams is like to vape. That'd be super interesting, but really nice hit off of this. It's not throaty, it's not scratchy, it's actually a super smooth vape. Now, the way these work is that they are filled with liquid in there. Somewhere there is a little lithium-ion battery in the bottom. You can't get access to it. Now, apparently these are really easy to pull apart, but there's no way that you can charge them, and there's no way that you can refill them. And they say that they last around a day to 2 days. Word is that like 1 in 10 pods burns out the coil before you run out of juice, and because you can't see how much juice that you've got in there, there's no way to tell whether it's burnt out, run out, or you've just got no power left. So that's, you know, that's a bit interesting, but the Cubano flavour is a really nice, smooth tobacco. Let's have another quick puff on it. These have a really nice tight draw. It's still really smooth. As you can see, you're getting a good vape, so it's not so tight that you don't get anything out of it, but what you are getting is a decent amount of vape. It's nice and discreet, and the flavour is really quite prominent. Let's move on to the next flavour. So the next flavour I'm going to be looking at is going to be the Tropical Mango. So it says that Tropical Mango is a sweet, refreshing, and it's smooth enough to vape all day long. I'm going to assume it's going to be a fairly basic tropical flavour, a mango hit to it possibly. So let's have a go. This is the Tropical Mango from Stig. This tastes exactly like orange and mango Tropicana, or that sort of pineapple mango Tropicana. It's really smooth. The tropical sort of fruit is quite a subtle blend, and the mango that you get on the exhale is really very much a fruity mango. Now, these are not sweet flavours. Because you're not getting huge amounts of vape, you're not going to get sick of these. I can't talk about coil killers because obviously it's a single-use pod. However, it'd be interesting to see whether certain flavours run out their pods faster than others due to that case. But if I can get a day or even 2 days out of each one of these pods, I mean, I've got 4 here, so essentially I've got the best part of 8 days worth of vaping. supposedly. Now, I'm sure if I used these exclusively for 8 days, I wouldn't get half that amount, but because I'm going to be running in tandem with other devices, I'll probably get a little bit longer. But the flavour is absolutely wonderful, and the mango isn't like a candy mango, it's not too synthetic, and the tropical that brings it in, you've got sort of hints of pineapple, maybe a little hint of banana in there, but it's a really smooth flavour. And the air draw on them is really nice as well. Like I say, it's not too open, it's not too tight, and let's try and direct lung it. Yeah, it's slightly too tight to direct lung, so it's maybe a restricted lung hit, but very much more of a mouth to lung hit. Let's move on to the third flavour. So the third flavour is Lush Ice. Okay, so you should be able to see Lush Ice up on the screen now. The Lush Ice is an invigorating mix of juicy watermelon and subtle menthol for a thoroughly awakening hit. I love me a good watermelon menthol. It is one of my favourite flavours, so let's have a go on the Lush Ice from Stig. That is a really sweet honeydew sort of fruity, wonderful little melon flavour there. And the ice isn't too cold. It's just this sort of cool hit that you're getting on the back note, that you get in the back of your throat. Not scratchy or harsh, but you just get that cool hit, just hit you. As you exhale, it's this sort of sweet, fruity watermelon. Now, it's not too sweet. It's not going to absolutely blow your mind with the sweetness, and it's not going to overkill you on the cold nature of it, but it is a lovely, fruity vape. And I love a good honeydew watermelon. I think the 6 Licks Melon on my mind was one of my favourite watermelon vapes, as is things like Dewberry Cream from Kilo back in the day. You know, really nice watermelon flavoured vapes. And this is actually up there. Now, the thing is, I like that they've come out with good flavours. A lot of these companies think that because their pod is a novelty, it doesn't matter what juice is in it because you're just happy to have a pod. Now, VGOD have got some vaping pedigree at the end of the day, so for them to come out with some good flavours is kind of expected. And I'm actually quite excited about the fact that they have come out with good flavours. So, the fourth and final flavour that I've got here is their Mighty Mint. Every vape range has got to have a tobacco and a menthol. So we've had the Cubano, which is their tobacco in the range. Let's try their menthol flavour, which is the Mighty Mint. So it says Mighty Mint is a invigorating blast of pure, freshly picked mint. Let's have a go on the Mighty Mint from Stig. This one tastes exactly like a tree bore strong mint. You're getting a really nice, sharp, cold hit down your throat and into your chest, and then the exhale, this sort of spearminty, pepperminty mix of just freshness. And it's cleared out my lungs a little bit. I feel refreshed from it. It is a smooth mint. This would definitely be an all-day vape for someone who is into their menthol flavours, who is into their mint flavours, and who just wants something small and convenient. Now, if you're just starting off and you're not sure as to whether vaping is the thing for you, maybe these Stig pods are the way to go. Now, price-wise, you can get 3 pods for $16.99, so they're not cheap in the disposable world. Let's be honest. I mean, that's coming on for about £5-6 per pod, so you're looking at £5-6 per 2 days of vaping. And if you were to use, I mean, it's cheaper than smoking, obviously, because smoking, if you're 20 a day, you're looking at £10 a day, as opposed to, so it's it's a quarter of the price. The flavors are good, and if you don't want to worry about filling anything, and you don't want to worry about changing pods or even replacing pods, this is going to be the thing for you. Now, what I like about it is not only have they got a good strong set of flavors, I think my favorite at the moment is probably that tropical mango. That's really, really fruity, but it's going to be convenient. These do actually come with a lanyard, which I have here. So we'll put one of the pods in there. All right. So the pod is now in the lanyard, as you can see, and it holds it there nicely. So when you sling it around your neck, you've always got something that you can inhale on. You don't have to worry about any buttons because they are fired by inhaling on them. So there's no buttons to worry about, no charging port to worry about, just is what it is. They weigh almost nothing. Now, let's move on to the next thing. Obviously, these are single use and they have lithium-ion batteries in. Now, the issue that we might have here is that if thousands of these are sold all over the world, that means thousands of these are being thrown away, which means thousands of lithium-ion batteries into the environment. Now, that isn't a good thing. There's no two ways about that. That isn't a good thing. What I would be interested to see is if the people that make Stig have any plans for coming up with a recycling scheme for them. Maybe if you buy 5 of them and you've got 5, they can give you a free post envelope that you can send it back to the company, who can remove the batteries, recharge the batteries, recycle the plastic case, and then put the battery in a new pod with new juice and send it back out that way. That way you'll end up with a closed circuit of recycling, and the onus then is on the user to make sure that those pods make it back to the manufacturer, in order that we're not putting more rubbish into the environment, which at this point it absolutely so sorely doesn't need. Now, the vaping industry is already under the eye of making too much waste. It makes huge amounts of waste. We've got 10ml bottles, billions of them. We've got bigger bottles, smaller bottles, cardboard, you name it, Coils. I mean, imagine the amount of metal in all the coils across the world that are just getting thrown in the bin. So to have lithium-ion batteries, which, let's be honest, are not kind to the environment, going out into the environment, that's something that has to be looked at. Now, that's not to take away from the fact it is a very good product. I actually am enjoying vaping these, but I want to make sure that when I'm done with this, I know that it's not only getting reused, but that it's not going to end up in a turtle's stomach, because at the end of the day, lithium-ion batteries are terrible for our groundwater, they're terrible for the soil, and let's be honest, they are probably going to end up in landfill because they just don't get recycled. If the company can take that responsibility and go, well, actually, you've bought 5 of those, send them back to us, we'll recycle them, and in exchange for, you know, you sending them back to us, we'll give you a free one. Here's a voucher for a free one. Take it down to your local shop and you can get yourself a free pod. How awesome would that be? That way you can vape cheaply, you can dispose of it responsibly, there's no impact on the environment, or at least much less of an impact on the environment, and everyone's happy. And let's be honest, it actually makes sense financially for a company to recycle their products because they're saving money on the initial manufacture. You're not making things new. So that would be interesting to see if anyone does that. Now, if anyone from the company sees this video, please drop me a message. I'd love to have a conversation about it, because I think it is very important in today's day and age that we are thinking about our impact on the environment when it comes to so many disposable products within the vaping industry. And I think that about wraps it up for the Stig pod. A very cool idea. There are a few things that need to be thought about, but the vaping is nice, the idea is cool, and I like the convenience of it. The price is, however, you know, it's a good price. You get 3 pods for 17 quid. You know, maybe that is something that would put some people off, or some people would enjoy that depending on how you vape it. But it's a brilliant kit for starters, and I think it's definitely something worth looking into. I would firstly like to thank South Vape Miami for setting me up with the VGOD guys. In addition, I would also like to thank the guys at VGOD and Stig for setting me up with these products for the purposes of this review. Go check out South Vape and go check out VGOD, and I will be putting links to their Instagrams and websites in the description of this video. So thank you again, guys. I really appreciate that. If you enjoyed this video, please hit the like button, please hit the subscribe button, drop a comment below to let me know what you think, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye bye.